Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back. So, we're going to talk a little bit about business in Canada. Now, somebody shared an infographic on Twitter, and I just want to highlight some of the reasons why, even if the Conservatives get into power like tomorrow, Canada's in for a long, long haul of not of dire straits, right? So let me illustrate this for you. This is a list of, as it says, the projects that have been canceled or delayed over the last 5 years. That's just 5 years, guys. Okay, that's not including all the projects and stuff that have been canceled and so many. So if you add all this up, it's about $200 billion in initial investment. What this doesn't highlight is that if, so say, we'll just highlight this first one, Pacific Northwest LNG, which is in British Columbia. That would be huge. Japan came to Canada years ago, said, hey, we want to buy your natural gas from you, right? And Trudeau said, no, I'm sorry, we can't give it to you. What? Seriously? They were going to build a big LNG plant in BC. And so, yeah, $36 billion maybe estimate to get it all up and running, infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. Who knows how many hundreds of billions of dollars that would have been in the revenue long term, right? So say this was 5 years ago. By now, you could have recouped the investment and then some, right? You just go down the list. It's just absolutely heartbreaking for any Canadian who looks at this and just like jobs after jobs that were never realized because all these were cut and the government said nope, sorry, like mines, just any and all. I mean, this isn't including like soft lumber and things like that and other projects that may have been that aren't even on this list. Like this is just a small sample of things that were canceled by the Trudeau government in order to, I don't know, screw over the average Canadian, right? Because all this kind of stuff could have brought prosperity, could have brought jobs, would have brought investment into Canada. But as it is, more businesses are leaving Canada than are setting up shop. It's just a hostile work environment for businesses. Um, Oil and gas is particularly problematic. Many oil and gas companies in Calgary have closed up shop, sold their assets to, Canadian-based businesses that are still willing to uh, operate in Canada. But what it was 10, 15 years ago, probably a half, maybe even a third of what it was. So it's just gone downhill over the last 10 years, really has. So yeah, even so, the that's the black pill for you. Even if the conservatives get into power and they improve all of this kind of stuff, it's going to take 3, 4, 5 years for some of this stuff to come to be built, right? So it's just not going to happen overnight. So and that's assuming that you got to understand, right? So I've said this before to people in private, but here's the thing. This is specifically for you Canadians. So let's say best case scenario, Pierre Poilievre gets into power. Okay, if his seat majority does not exceed the combined seat majority of the NDP and the Liberals, nothing will get passed. So if Pierre gets 135 seats and the NDP, the Liberals, and the Québécois, if all three of those exceed this number of seats that the Conservatives have nothing will pass. Why? Because all three of those political bodies hate Canada. Guaranteed, right? There was nothing. So unless it's like an absolutely trouncing ass stomping majority, like 200 seats to 138 combined for all the other parties, nothing will pass. It will be a deadlock for 4 years until a vote of no confidence is passed and the Liberals are voted back in. So pay attention to the seat count, okay? Because if you want something to happen, that seat count has to be massive. So anyway, that's it. That's all. There is no more.